You gonna go over there? Can I squeeze through here? Sure can. I feel like I'm in church. You mind?
So you know
If some of you guys want to stand over here, you can.
well, thank you, sir.
I know, that's what I was just considering. Should I just go sit there by Jeff?
I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is a public hearing on the tax levy for Edgar County. My name is Jeff Boyd, and I'm the chairman of the board. We have board members sitting at these tables here. I think some of you are aware who they are. This morning, we're going to have a hearing to discuss the levy. We'll ask that you stand where you're at, and you'll be given 5 minutes to discuss or make comments about the levy. But before that, I would like to take a couple minutes and describe a couple things to you, which I hope are helpful. Number one, the template that the state gives us makes it look like we're increasing taxes by over 100%. That's not correct. The 105% that describes the tax, or the state feels that anything over a 5% increase, you have to have a public hearing. They call that 105%. So that's number one. Taxes are not doubling. The original levy calls for a 7.34% levy. And it's not just the county tax, it's other agencies. That covers the retirement fund for the county highway department, the bridge fund, the community health fund, federal aid, matching tax funds we use at the highway department to match federal funds, county board of health, tort immunity, which is our insurance policy, Social Security, and the extension, the Illinois Extension Office. They have a levy. And last year, the levy was $1,071,000, or $5,071,000. What we put out was an increase to 5.44 million, which is a 7.34% increase. However, over the last few weeks since all of this has come out, we have all the board members have talked to a lot of community members with their concerns. So we have reviewed the budget, or I'm sorry, the levy, and we feel comfortably, and we won't stop doing it, but we feel at this point we can drop it to well below 5%, which means that this hearing wouldn't have been necessary. But it is still necessary because you have a right to tell us how you feel, and we appreciate that, yes.
I don't believe, did you
Oh,
state the two
I'm sorry, it also
ambulance
covers the 2 ambulance funds. This whole levy covers that also. So it's a all-encompassing levy. And I think the template that the state gives us gives us to use is kind of misleading for you folks. So I hope that clears up a couple of points. At any rate, back to the cuts, we went back and took a look at some of the things that, I hate to say it and shock the sheriff's office, but maybe we can get by with one less car replaced this year. But it's that kind of thing. And we looked at some of the special funds to make sure that we were using the funds correctly. Not correctly, but we were levying the sufficient funds to make it possible to operate those funds. So that's where we're at right now. I hope that helps a little. We'll do the best we can at accommodating anybody who wants to talk. We may have to recess and then we come back into session later on. But so whoever would like to start it off, yes, please, Dan.
I would like to ask a question.
Yes.
My name's Lou Jean Joynes.
Hi, Lee.
And hello. And I would like, if you could, to clarify the corporate and special purpose. What exactly is that fund or levy? The
Well, that would
corporate,
be what,
the corporate if I understand correctly, is your general fund, but I don't understand what the special purpose, and are those tied together, or are
Yes.
they separate?
They're all tied together.
So-
All the funds I just read are all tied in to the corporate fund and special funds.
Okay. I do have a follow-up question.
Yes, ma'am.
When I did the math, I come up with 0.16. So, and
That's just for the general fund.
that's just for the general fund. So was it eliminated to get down to the 734?
You add all of those funds together.
Okay.
All the funds I read are including the 1.25 and you add that all together, and that comes up to 5.443.
Okay.
7.34.
Yeah, 734 is
Well, I
what I
was giving them
ended
the
up
total
with.
$1 million, about the dollar.
Yeah.
That all adds up to the 7.34.
Yeah, I was just doing the percentage.
Some funds went down, some funds went up.
That's
Okay.
what I surmised from what I read,
I'll-
but I just wanted it clarified.
I just want, to your question, the county general fund tax went up 16%, retirement tax 22%, highway tax 8%, the bridge 15%, mental health went down from last year, federal aid was up 4%, county board of health 5%, tort 6%, social security 1%, and extension was a little bit less than last year. Those are the breakdowns.
Okay.
But so you average all that out and you
Sure.
come up with the
The
7.4.
7, okay. Thank you so much.
No, great questions, Eugene. You don't have to ask questions, you can also make a statement, however you would like to do it, okay? Other questions?
So the retirement went up by 22%, you said?
Yes.
And that's a pension, so every year, rest of your life? Is that what it was, the pension or something, retirement? How does that work out with your guys' retirements? Is that like you guys, or who's all included in the retirement?
All the county employees are members of IMRF.
Okay.
That's one of the funds we're trimming.
So why did it go up by 22%?
Well, it's not going to.
It's not going to.
No. We are in a unique situation, though. We are well-funded and well-vested in our policy, or our retirement fund.
Well, funded wouldn't mean we're getting our taxes raised.
Well, I mean, we're staying up. A lot of agencies aren't taxing enough, and so they fall behind, and sooner or later, it's gonna come due.
Because see, I don't understand what a levy is, or the tax abatements, or what all this is, or even how you got into this predicament. Could you guys
We're not in a
describe-
predicament.
Well, I don't understand why our taxes are getting raised if we're not in a predicament.
Well, it's just like your household. Our insurance has gone up. The last 2 years, our liability insurance has gone up $150,000. Yeah, it's well, not quite double, but health insurance has gone up $65,000.
No other options out there, or are we just sticking with the plans we know, not
No,
making?
we seek other bids. In fact, we got 2 extra bids this year, and it would have driven up the annual, or the monthly fee by almost $400 per individual. So we're doing, yes,
Would
please.
you please explain IMRF to folks and who qualifies?
Anybody that works 1,000 hours or more qualifies for IMRF.
I still don't know what IMRF is.
The Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund.
Okay.
Sorry, it's a quasi-state. It's under the state auspices, but a separate board handles it. It's not like the unions or the retirement fund that the state of Illinois employees have. It's a fund for municipalities and counties.
And you have to use that?
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely, Dan.
I think I asked before, tort immunity, $750,000. Could you explain, I still don't understand why it's that much, tort immunity. Maybe the people don't understand that either.
Well, think of the first part of it is like your house policy. If somebody falls on your sidewalk, a house burns down, a tree falls on it, and that covers the buildings, and it's also your auto insurance, okay? And that policy is running about $550,000 a year to cover all of the county, okay?
It just seems a lot of money.
Wow.
I agree. It is a lot of money. Then we pay, sometimes I have trouble with work. Well, no, I'm thinking about when somebody gets injured.
Oh, workers' comp.
Workers' comp, unemployment all come out of that. Okay? And we're expecting about a 50.
Does they ever put that out on bid?
Yeah,
Every year.
every year.
It seems like a lot of money.
And legal expenses,
Yeah.
like,
I realize that, yeah.
yeah, I'll
Somebody
get to you,
filed a
sir.
lawsuit against us, that pay something.
yes, sir.
So, Andy Kirby, 11 Country Club Road. Our taxes went up recently, just probably a few months ago. I don't know why that was, but, you know, my insurance or my house payment went up $750 in 1 month, so, because of property taxes. So, how are you guys gonna address that when, you know, I can take the $750 hit a month, but I know many people who can't.
Right.
And then, you know, you guys are gonna hit us with this one. I can't imagine taking another hit, when we just took a $750 hit per month. So, I mean, you guys are, everybody's gonna leave Edgar County, and you're not gonna have anybody to pay taxes.
Right.
So, we gotta figure out something different. We can't just keep raising taxes because the houses are gonna foreclose. All of our properties are gonna be worth nothing because you're gonna have 100 properties that's gonna go back to the bank.
I wonder if all $750 was property tax or whether,
It was
what's
400, 400 was property tax, but then they make you have a
PMI?
reserve.
Yeah, and then the
Not
insurance
PMI,
is
but-
included in on that too.
Yeah, so I guess what's the plan there? I mean, you can't just keep raising taxes when we just got a tax increase.
Actually, the rate went down, the assessments went up, and, I don't know, without getting into other offices and their comments, the assessments, you had a quadrennial assessment here in town, and I don't know how much that's gonna be a problem. The state of Illinois continually, forces every county, not just this county, but every county. They come out and we send in paperwork about what we think is assessed, your house, your business building, what they're worth. Then the state looks at it and goes, no, we're not gonna give you a multiplier of 1. We think you've underassessed things, unless you wanna go back and adjust it. They may put what have we had, a 1.03? We've had a 3% increase, haven't we? Just on the multiplier, which makes a big difference to all of us. So I'm not, yes, we have to solve some problems here and continually. But until the state somehow addresses how they do property taxes, we've been fighting, remember Babe Woodyard? We fought by his side for years to try to get something done with property taxes. They shouldn't be the basis on which the services that the state demands that we offer you, that we're mandated. And that's another thing they do. They say, okay, now you gotta have this, but they don't give us any money. We've got 2 funds that we get from the state that they've cut several $100,000 a year to us. So we've got to come up with some way to still operate and do that. I mean, we've got trouble just like your household has trouble. Yes, ma'am.
Well, just like the grocery tax and everything, you know, Marshall, they dropped theirs, you know, but Paris is still the same. I mean, that wants everybody to go to Marshall to grocery shop because.
I mean, my bills go up every year, and I got to figure out how to make it. But like, you know, is there any end in sight of this? Are we going to bleed more next year, or what's your 5-year outlook on this?
Yeah.
It's not optimistic because all of our expenses are the same as what you have running a business.
I don't run a
Our
business. I
utility
work at a
bill is
factory.
almost doubled this year.
I don't run a business. I work at a factory.
I business, home, wherever you're at.
Yeah.
We all got bills. Yes, Lisa, and I'll get to you guys.
I want to point out that some of the levies on here, the county, maybe not you individually, but the county voted to have these services. So community mental health, that's the 708 board, that's HRC. HRC is the agency that provides those services. County Board of Health, this is a small portion of, because the rest of their budget they receive by grants and services. Extension Education, University of Illinois Extension. You guys passed that you wanted that service many, many years ago. The two ambulance services, those were passed by you as an agent, as an organization, as a county. So if you don't want those, or you want those levies decreased, then that's a process, and that could happen. But that's on the county to determine what you want. And, you know, there are a lot of things that you see on your tax bill that are not on here. School district, community college. Community colleges, that's a lot of money.
Your
And that township, not that any of those are bad or evil, but those are all a combination of why all of our tax bills are high. So if you look at the whole thing, and not that that's an excuse, and I'm not trying to say that, if you look at the whole thing, there are a lot of factors that come into play on why our taxes are so high. But you all play a role, or can play a role, or your ancestors did, or people that no longer live anymore. But there are a lot of factors on why our tax bills are high. But yes, we work on this all year. And, you know, we're all taxpayers too, so we don't take this lightly, and we're not throwing it on anyone else. We live it too. But I just wanted to provide that little bit of education as well.
Paris has not really been known for
Yes,
its good
ma'am.
decisions, so we can always change those. You know, we don't have to keep these programs, and we can eliminate them. You know, if we can't afford them, get rid of them. You know, maybe when we get back into a good spot, we can get them back.
But we as county board cannot. Those were voted in. They would have to be voted out. So it would be a process.
Well, we can do that.
You
Ma'am in
certainly
the back.
can.
Excuse me.
Okay, I have a couple questions.
Yes, ma'am.
One, I had called the city because I live in the country, but I also own a house in town. I called the city a year ago and said, do I have to have a building permit to put up a carport for a garage? I was told, nope, because and I said, what's my taxes gonna raise? That's gonna determine whether I build an actual garage that makes my value go up, or I put a carport that I can remove. I was told that I could put it in, my taxes would not raise because it is movable. It is not on concrete, that I could put it in. This year, I get a notice at the house with the tenant that we have to measure the carport because now I'm being taxed on it. It's a movable object. Why am I being taxed on that, and why did the city not know the rules of the county?
Gina?
It's been the county policy for probably 40 years that anything over a 240 square foot building, we are one of the largest counties in size. Most counties will allow up to 100 square feet or 160 regardless of what it is, and it is assessed. That's a statewide pretty much policy. There have been numerous blasts that have went through offices across the state. You're one of the larger ones. We allow for a 240 square foot structure. Doesn't automatically give it a portable assessment because we have an 8x10 stick-built shed that will be assessed. But if it is movable and it's less than 240 square feet, that's the county policy. I cannot explain for the city.
But my question is, how do they not know their
They
own
should have
policy?
directed you to the assessor.
But they didn't, so is there somebody that can make the city do their job? Anybody in here that can do that?
That's another public hearing, ma'am.
Okay, well, that's the first one.
Schedule that?
The second one is, how is the jail being paid right now with the funds, the new jail? How's it being paid right now? Because I'm being told by someone that we're paying, the taxes are paying it, even though we were told it wasn't.
No.
Okay, can you confirm that? Because someone told us that, and so I want to know, how is it being, all of a sudden now we have these raises in taxes. Our Chrisman fire, or police department can't even get body cams, but yet we have all this money that you guys are taking. My township doesn't even fix the darn road that I live on, that I call and complain about all the time, and nobody will fix anything there. So I just want to know where our taxes actually go, not the bullcrap answers that you're going to give. I want to know where they actually go. And I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just saying I'm so over this, and finally you have people that are tired of it and are showing up for once to a meeting.
Thank you.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, do you want me to answer the question
Yes,
now?
I would like for you to answer anything, honestly. No, honestly.
We have a 1% sales tax, safety tax, that pays for the jail.
And
that's
that was
what's used.
voted on by the
But
people.
is
they
that
voted.
truly happening, or are you guys lying about it? I mean, I'm being honest with my question.
We are
Are
not-
you being truthful?
Yes,
About that.
we are being truthful.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, I've been
We'll
on the
go with
board.
that, because there's not gonna be any, it's not gonna be solved. With you saying you're being honest, and I'm gonna have to take you for your word on that, because I have no idea if you're telling the truth.
I've been around on this board for 15 years.
I understand that, and
That
that's why I
doesn't make
think the
me-
whole board should be
There's a lot of
replaced.
problems that
Somehow,
Last 15
Last 20 fucking years, it's been the same people talking on top.
nobody votes you guys in.
Stop.
Or nobody
Hang
votes
on,
other people.
hang on. No swearing in this
Free
room.
speech, bud. Move on.
No, that crosses the line. And don't do it again, please. Yes, ma'am.
No, I'm just saying, like, I wanna know where our tax, because I'm over it. I'm with these people saying, we'll move to Indiana, because it's getting ridiculous how much we pay. Or anywhere other than Illinois, that the taxes are at least normal and not outrageous, and you have nothing to show for what you're doing. I wanna know, because you look at, like, our roads. Half of them are crap.
Road in the subdivision.
Yes.
They're terrible. The ones that don't get the roads all the way around, all the time, they're bad. They have holes in them. We call, patch, that's all we ever get. Don't do the dead ends, you just do the patching. We don't even get
Well, I
that.
want to make sure you know that none of what we're talking about in the levy deals with the jail, or the townships, or the city. Those are separate issues. I mean, if you've got problems within Crispin, or Paris, or Hume, or wherever you're at, those issues are not part and parcel of the county highway department. The county highway department takes care of county roads, and as asked, assists the townships. Okay?
Good question.
Yes, sir.
Jack Hoffman.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi. Something, go back to something you said earlier. You said if you didn't, if it had been under 5%, you wouldn't have to call me.
That's correct.
So you can, being a layman, that means every year you can raise the rates up to 5% without calling me.
According to the state.
Okay, so I just need to know that.
Well, but we discuss these at open meetings. We don't have any secret meetings.
Sure.
And we start working on this in August and September. So we'll do a better job of posting so you know what we're doing. Okay?
Is Facebook the only way you let people
Wait a
know?
minute. You've had plenty of comments. Let's let somebody else talk. Who else has questions?
Hi,
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. Thank you
Good
for
morning.
having this meeting. Two brief things. One, I think it might be very beneficial for the entire community if we could potentially take the budget and maybe define the categories of what falls into each one. So it's very clear and concise. Just maybe a little
That will be
baseline.
done. Okay, it'll be online.
Perfect.
Cool.
Let's share
Awesome.
that.
Wonderful.
My second
Well, yeah, the budget.
And just kind of share what falls into those categories.
Yes.
Learned a lot this
Yes.
morning.
Yes.
Second, as a community, what proactive approach are we taking, maybe partnering with very similar communities with the economic development as Paris, the needs of Paris, to kind of do some cross collaboration and pick up some best practices? Maybe there's some things that other counties are doing that we could apply here that may be able to help.
Lisa? Lisa's our representative who goes to state meetings and so forth to bring us, we can't all go.
Of course.
So we have Lisa who goes we take a look at the agenda, I'll just let you answer, sorry.
Yeah, again, he said it, but I want to make sure you're clear. Different entities are responsible for different things. So if it's a township, if you're on a township road, that's a tax, and that's, you vote your township folks in. If it's the city, same thing. By law, we have pretty specific lanes. There is a Regional Economic Development Corporation. They are not super active, but yes, I do go to county meetings, and it's like any organization if you go to that's larger than yourself. You do learn, and we're constantly learning. And I know that daytime meetings are not necessarily easy for all of you to attend, but if you go to our county website, edgarcountyillinois.gov, all spelled out, all one word, all of the minutes, all of the budget, everything is on there. It is accessible. It is not hidden. So, and you go to, on the website, you go to board, and you see our agendas, you see our dates, you see everything that is official that is put on there. And our clerk and recorder does that in a very timely manner after every meeting.
What was the website again?
EdgarCountyIllinois.gov. All spelled out.
.com.
It's yeah, the website is .com. Emails are .gov.
Say it again, would you? Say it again.
EdgarCountyIllinois.com. All spelled out.
Jeff, you might want to explain on the cost of the jail. I think people don't understand that it's not really tax money as such. The people in Edgar County actually pass that. It's a 1% sales tax on things that you buy in the store. It has nothing to do with property tax, right?
You just explained it,
It's a
Dan.
safety tax is what it is. And it's on stuff that you buy. It's not on your property tax. So that's basically, that's what paying for the jail. It's over a 20 or 30 year period. But you voted on it. You voted on it.
Yes, Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt Allen, I want to highlight a couple of things that are directly related to this. This, as I understand it, you're not going to raise beyond 4.9%, correct?
Correct.
Okay. To the gentleman that spoke, $700-some increase. You look at your property tax bill and every line item on there. I'm going to reference the Dawson Township meeting we went to last night. Every single public body, by law, can raise your taxes up to 5% without any input from me whatsoever. And every lawyer for these units of government, fire departments, library districts, school districts, townships, municipalities, every stinking lawyer, if you're a lawyer, I'm sorry, every stinking lawyer says, well, you need to do that to keep up with inflation. Oakland, Illinois, Fire Protection District, one man convicted, the trustee, his father goes to trial, supposed to have started yesterday, and it got postponed, over $250,000 of theft. They raised taxes every single year. They had more money than they knew what to do with. You have to look at every unit of government and go to those meetings and ask an important question. Why are we raising the taxes? Is it because we can, or is it because we need to? There's a big difference, and you will find most of these units of government don't need to. I'm the fire chief in Kansas, have been for about 20 years. There will come a day when I'm not, and I'm looking forward to it. We have not raised our levy in 20 years. We have not. Why? Because we make sure that we're within our budget and we make sure that we are frugal with our money, and we don't do that. Now, I was a township supervisor. We didn't raise it for the 8 years before me and the 8 years I was there. The next board came in, went up, what was it, Tom?
$5 an acre.
Another $5 an acre. About 28%, if I remember right, because they allowed people in that road district to literally rob our money and use it improperly. The 1% tax for the jail, with all due respect to law enforcement, love you guys, when that passed, we were told that was a safety tax. It would affect all safety units in the county. I'm a fire department, run an ambulance. We've not seen a penny, not a single penny. Has any others? It's all gone to the sheriff's office. And no offense to the sheriff, I don't know if he's here or not, but doggone it, we were told when that tax passed it would benefit all the emergency service agencies in this county. That's not true. And that's a personal one for me, because we were assured everybody was going to benefit from that. We haven't. Have you seen any of that safety tax on the ambulance?
We have a different taxing system.
I understand that. That wasn't my question. My question was, have you seen any of that? The answer is probably no. We have to be involved. I'm glad you're all here. I really am. But you're going to find that if you don't go to your school boards and start really putting eyes to paper, you need to go to your township meetings, your fire protection district meetings, your library meetings. There's so many meetings it's unheard of. But Dawson Township, $200,000 in checks written to 2 people personally to themselves in 6-week time. And last night the lawyer says you need to raise the levy another 4.9%.
Wow.
It's happening in every unit of government out there, and it has to stop. And your tort levy, with all due respect, Jeff, and I understand where you're coming from, if I want to sit here and drop F-bombs, you better raise your tort levy, because by law, the Supreme Court case says I can't. That's free speech. And I know from a decorum standpoint, we want to keep things civil and professional, but if you go to cut someone off and you have that man arrested or you haul him out, you've just opened up Pandora's box for higher charges, and it will be tort levy because you don't know what the Supreme Court has said on that issue. Don't make those mistakes. People are angry. I'm angry. I'm angry at our township. Tom and I can talk all day about that because we've fought for years to keep those taxes down. You have to come to meetings and you have to put eyeballs on it and you have to ask good, solid questions. But this 4.9%, they didn't even have to have this meeting. And I'm glad you did. I appreciate it.
We could have canceled it. We didn't want to.
I understand, and I appreciate that. But this is what happens when we, the people, trusted and just blindly trusted.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt.
I got one.
Yes.
I don't understand why, when people donate money or they pass away and they leave a chunk of money for a certain thing to be done for the community, and it's not done. There's no money. I've asked about one particular incident for almost 30 years now, and I still haven't got an answer. Is what the heck happened to the $1 million for the park, East or Westlake Park, for the water slide and the pool? You got to have stuff to bring people in. We have nothing to bring anybody in here for nothing.
For our kids.
Nothing for, that's what I'm saying, nothing for the kids. Man, I went out there, my mother took me out there when I was a child. Everybody loved that place out there. You got rid of all the amusement stuff out there the kids would love. It was awesome, the train. But there's $1 million missing, and I have yet to be told the last thing I was told on that was we had to use that for surveying. How in the hell you got to use it for surveying when you own all the ground there? It's crazy.
That's strictly a city issue.
Yeah.
You need to address the city council.
And the county too. You guys got that horse track out there at the fairgrounds. You use it for trotters.
It's not ours.
Well, I mean, there's things that this town can do that they don't to get people to come.
Well, I can build off all that. My name's Mike. I run South Fork Homestead. And this past October, we had 27,000 people come to Edgar County to our place. 99% of people here have never stepped foot on the property. These people come from far away. They pass through the county. We get feedback every day about attitudes and opinions about Illinois and the area. But our problem is, just like the county, as a small business, our rates and our costs have skyrocketed. Our liability insurance has increased 1,000% each year for the last 2 years, which is really questioning a lot of things. Our property taxes for the homestead has increased every year for 10 years. As a seasonal business, if you break down small business, just the property tax costs us $1,000 every weekend we're open. Our liquor license, $250 every weekend we're open. Our liability insurance costs about $3,000 a week that we're open. So we have to reel way back on what we do on our decisions. We don't have the luxury of retirement or even increases in pensions or anything. We keep pulling it back. We keep pulling it back to what we can deal with. And I think as a county and as a community, everybody needs to reel back any programs that they can. Cut them back to bare bones because the future is grim. It will continue that way. And I think I told you the other day on the phone, one input for the future, all insurance companies have retracted on how they pay for roof claims on properties. So going forward down the road, anything that's under 5 years old, they won't pay anything on. To make a long story short, that's going to deplete the value of all these homes because these roofs on all these old homes in town are going to deteriorate. And people ain't going to move into them. They're not going to buy them. So that's a future problem that's going to be down the road, which is going to make the assessment value of those just come fall and make them. There's going to be more houses to tear down everywhere.
My name's Scott Myers. I'm a longtime resident, a lifelong resident of Edgar County. I own a piece of property just outside of town out here that every year when we get done, it costs me $600 a year based on what I pay in taxes just to own the property. That's $600 over what I make on it, and there's 20 acres of farmable land on it. We can't continue this. Your constituents are telling you that we cannot absorb any more taxes. And my question is, to go along with that, I own another 40 acres out there that I'm paying more in taxes every year than my grandfather paid for it in 1952. That's a yearly tax that goes on that piece of property. Whose job is it to go to the state of Illinois and say, if we want a 1-point increase on our taxes, and they say it's a 3-point increase, who pushes back against that? That would be my first question. My second question is, with all the things that we're doing that are costing us additional tax money, at what point can we say we're going to negate these items because we're budgeting this and we cannot make our taxpayers absorb any more money, so we're going to cut these programs. So these are the programs we're going to put out for vote that we're no longer going to do. And when can that happen? And when can the residents of Edgar County have a say in which ones we support and which ones we don't?
Right.
Everybody's got a budget.
You said there was a process. How do we start it?
Well, we're gonna have to ask our state's attorney, are you talking like the health department, or are you talking about?
No, I'm asking who is going to go back to the state of Illinois when they say it's not a 1-point increase, it's a 3-point increase. Who's going to push back to the state of Illinois and say, no, it's not. It's a 1-point increase. Who can we talk to say we don't agree with this?
Chapin
Or are we
Rose?
stuck?
Chapin Rose?
Okay. So the county has no power to do that whatsoever.
Niebuhr?
All right.
Niebuhr? Yeah. Those are your legislators. But unfortunately, you know what the political, hate to say it.
I do. We're stuck with the Democratic
Yes.
caucus right now.
That is veto proof.
Okay, so everybody that's in here, let's remember that we're stuck with the Democratic caucuses now push through a bunch more taxes that we all don't agree with. And if we don't agree with them, we got to do something about it.
Well, the other
And
day,
if I'm sorry, I don't
No,
mean to
I'm
interrupt
sorry.
you, but if our list of items that we're spending money on in Edgar County is too great for us to handle, and we can't afford the taxes anymore, then we need to pick which programs we can do without right now and negate them. Lower our taxes back to where they need to be. And then as time goes on and we're more profitable, we can bring them back in. But if we can't afford it anymore, we've got to choose at some point. I can't do this. I do it every day at home. And I make decent money. And I work hard every day. But when I pay $16,000 in taxes for farmland that I own, and I understand that, and I do a budget sheet for the farms that I run, and I develop that, and I have it scheduled out for the next 5 years, I'm not prepared to take a 5% hit every single year, increase, and be able to budget that in based on a consistent crop. Oh, sorry. I can't budget it in. I can't foresee how much we're going to increase it. It has to be limited. And if it takes us limiting that and negating programs, then we need to do that.
we can go ahead, Lisa. Your probably quiz better than mine anyway.
I see one elected official other than your county board in this room, actually, it's just around the door. So when Jeff leads our budget process, but he doesn't do that alone, every elected official is responsible for their budget, and then Jeff is not responsible for offices that are run by an elected official. So, as we said here recently, it's a negotiation, and we hope everybody plays nice. But realize every elected official, county elected official, is responsible for their own budget. Now, I'm not saying any of them go hog wild or do things that aren't appropriate. But again, you elect them and you can have those conversations. The other thing, and Jeff, you can speak to this better than I, the highway department tax that the feds make a requirement that we max the levy. But I can tell you, part of that is, if we don't max that levy, then we can't do bridges. And there are how many bridges? Two in the process right now. We have 4 bridges, 2 are in my district, my township, that are getting replaced with 100% federal funds. Now that's, and it seems crazy if you ever go out on a country road, $1 million to build just a little bridge. It is disgusting, but the hoops we have to jump through. If we don't max that particular levy, we can't get federal funds. If we can't get federal funds, we can't do any road repairs on the Clinton Road. And the Clinton, Horace Blacktop, and Lower Terre Haute are the 3 main roads. It is obscene how much it costs to do any of those things, and the county's portion of that bill is very small. But if we don't max that, you want to talk about potholes. So, and a bridge, every bridge that's over a certain 20-foot span, the county is constantly monitoring the health of those, and those are all on a schedule for when they get replaced. And you know, it's just like at home. If you don't replace them, pretty soon you've got a lot that need replaced all at the same time, and we can't afford that. So that's just one line, and they aren't all like that. But just to realize, again, we're under some pretty tight restraints on what we do and do not have the ability to change. That's not to say that we shouldn't always be trying to change and be frugal, and we are. There are a lot of things we'd love to do around here, like get rid of that dang, towards the end of its life, elevator that's in the middle of our beautiful courthouse. Well, that's not going to happen because that was $1 million and some too, and we chose to replace the roof. So we aren't living differently than you are.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, Mother, I don't want to step on your toes by saying this. But question about the pension, you said it's 22%.
What I just get ready to bring.
22%. You said it's not going to be that, but you haven't given us a specific number. Okay. So my question is, there's so many places, like where I work, been there 20-something years, I had a pension, but about 10 years ago they phased it out. At what point, what do you contribute? Is it us that's totally paying the 22% or whatever it is? Or what contribution are you making to decrease?
It's split. It's 4 point some odd percent. 4.5 for the county, 4.5 for the folks. And the police, I'm sorry, the deputies is different because they're out there risking their lives protecting the police.
Job just like ours.
So we put in, I think, 7. I'm sorry, wrong person. It's 7.5 we put in, and they put in a lesser amount. But we do put in more for law enforcement. And to give you a specific amount, we'll probably be chopping off 25,000. That's one of the smaller budgets. That's why if you raise it 25,000, it proportionately looks higher at the 22%. So it'll go down to what it was last year, or maybe even less than what it was last year. Okay? Yes, sir.
Yeah, back to the potholes in the roads. I was in the understanding that that was the reason by getting the Illinois lottery back years ago. They would take care of the roads and schools and stuff like that.
You know what happened? You know what happened to that?
I don't know. That's what
Let me give you a little, what I was going to say earlier. Last Thursday, the legislature decided when you fill your gas tank up, you're paying Illinois fuel tax, motor fuel tax. Well, they're taking more of that. Instead of spreading it around the state, they're going to give the CTA a bailout. I forget how much it was. Was it $1 billion? In other words, we're waiting now to find out how much they're going to cut their share of our highway department. It's
It's very,
which day?
yeah.
It
happens all the time.
Yep. And just like I was at Chapin Rose's thing this summer, and we were talking about 911, and he said that, they got an increase in that, but Springfield grabbed that money and sent it to Chicago.
Yep.
Nobody
got
nothing.
Sir?
It's just constantly, they're taking stuff away from us. The state mandated, like at the jail, we used to always just have one jailer. They mandated we have two. So we went from 4 employees to 9 employees. And now they're in the process of, with 911, changing the rules that possibly make it mandatory that we have 2 people on duty 24/7. We'll go from 6 to 9 or 10 employees. Where's that money come from? They mandatory to us, but we have no money to pay for it.
Right. That's what they're supposed
Sir, you had a question?
Yeah, Steve Comstock. I had a question on your pension and your retirement. You said you was going to raise it to 7, now you're going to take it back down to 5. How much of that 5? I don't get to raise my Social Security whenever I think I need a raise. You guys can raise yours anytime you want.
You're
How much?
misinterpreting what
No,
I
no.
said.
How much of the 5% is the pension and retirement?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It'd be nothing.
Where's it come from?
Well, the levy last year, hang on, gotta find the right page. The levy last year was 225,000. We're not gonna raise that, or if we do, it'll only be slightly at all. So part of that 5% is not represented in it all.
So we're paying you guys' retirement and pension.
Not ours, not
The
mine.
county.
No, we don't.
The county.
The
board.
county
Right.
employees, yes.
And that's not part of this.
No, not at this point.
Okay.
All right. Hey, listen, we're going to have to do a recess. We have other items that we need to take care of. And so about 11:30, we'll reconvene here if you would like to.
Jeff,
Yes, sir.
I got one quick thing.
No, that's fine.
Look at this room. At 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Why is it at 9 o'clock in the morning and not in the evening time when people can come?
Absolutely.
It's,
So many
you know,
people that
getting
do
on the
that.
school board, our meeting started at 5 o'clock. And personally, I thought that was ridiculous because people get off work at 5 o'clock and they might want to come to our school board meeting. So we backed it up an extra 15 minutes to give people time to get there. Why 9 o'clock? Jeff, I've asked that, I've thought about this forever.
We're all seniors here.
I mean, you know, if I wasn't semi-retired, I couldn't be here. So
We're open to that discussion.
why can't we push it to a 6 o'clock meeting?
We will take that as advisement.
I
Yes.
appreciate it.
I'll be real quick. I want to piggyback on what Ms. Ellis said. In regards to having to max out a levy because of what the state says, the unfunded mandates. When I talked about all these units of government, your township road districts have what's called a needy township fund. But you don't get any money from the state unless you've maxed out that levy. So it's a way to literally arm twist your township governments to max out their levy, just like she was talking about with the county level. From a fire department standpoint, our grants, well, we've been frugal. We don't get grants because we've got money. We're not in debt. We're not maxed out. If we were maxed out on our levies, we stand a better chance to get grants. Why they do this is beyond me, but what he said about contact your legislature, you need to get to know them on a personal basis. And you need to be on their backside, giving them suggested legislative language and ask them on a regular basis, when did you go across the aisle and who'd you talk to? Because I can tell you between John and I in the last 15 years, we have pushed over 25 pieces of legislation that have passed across both aisles, almost unanimous votes, to fix these kind of problems. But it takes you, the people, to do that. It really does. It takes time and effort, and I know we all have work schedules, but the government has oppressed us to a point where we're here. We can't take it anymore. You all have to get involved. You really do.
The money that's been reallocated to Chicago, how do we know how they're spending it? Is there going to be this embezzlement? I mean, are they going to?
There's a process. You can find out. There's a process.
They spend it on what they're spending.
Okay, folks, we're going to recess the meeting until approximately 11:30 right here. So if you want to come back and talk some more, I'll be here. Okay? I apologize. I don't apologize for having the meeting. I wish it had more room and we'd allowed more time, but we scheduled another hearing on solar. So you're welcome to stay for that also. And the county board meeting, we're going to shoot more. Thank you, folks. We really, really.
We're already going to do it. We're already going to raise the levy. Ain't no point in doing that. We got voted in, but we make no decisions.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
They're a different level, man. Yeah. Take somebody with a back and trickle down from one to the next.